Huh. Oh, perfect. On.
We should be ready to go.
Yes.
10 o'clock chalu for us.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome from REDX and the Innovi teams to our group director, Dr. Salunke, deans, program heads, and all our faculty colleagues. And of course, my dear friends, all my students, all our students. WE4tech, the inaugural ceremony, that's what we are all here for. WE4tech is a play on the words We School for Technology. Captures the essence, right? A workshop come hackathon to solve business problems using the latest technologies. Let me take this opportunity to tell you how the thought of WE4tech originated. The thought germinated during a conversation between Salunke sir and myself a few weeks back, wherein he mentioned, how can we embed technology into all that we make our students do at WE School? How can we embed tech as the enabler in business decisions that our students are exposed to, irrespective of the undergraduate backgrounds they come from, whether from a tech background or otherwise? And how can we do all of this in a fun manner? What better way of learning it than doing it hands-on? What better way of doing it than with a rush of adrenaline, racing against time through a competition? And then our core team at ISC, Dr. Vaishali Patil, Dr. Garima Sharma, Sagar Deshmukh, Ameya Vaingankar, and Shruti Mandgaonkar, and the REDX team headed by Dr. Subodh Devlekar, Amit Gaude, Fatima Hirani, Sushant Shetty, Adish Deshpande took over to bring to you WE4tech, a unique workshop come hackathon. Having spoken about the genesis of WE4tech, I now invite Professor Dr. Uday Salunke to share his thoughts with us. So over to you, Salunke sir.
Hi. Thanks, Kausu. And first of all, let me wish you all very happy New Year, happy Makar Sankranti. And I hope probably the challenges of Omicron and COVID are minimized or maybe eliminated for most of you. But still all of you are taking precautions for yourself, for your family, and following all the protocols. And that's why probably we could not meet students in the campus. Otherwise, we were supposed to be in the campus from 3rd of Jan. But we could sense that what government is going to do it. And that's why we are forced to push by the government kind of they themselves. But it doesn't matter, I think. Our spirit is such, as Kausu just mentioned, our spirit is such which is not going to be dampened, daunted by any other kind of forces. So be it offline, be it online, be it hybrid reality, I think we'll obviously sail through, definitely. So the point which, in fact, Kausu mentioned, I must come to this point. But before that, let me wish all my faculty colleagues as well, all deans, program head, program in charge, faculties, good morning to you all. The class of 2022, good morning. And the prime mover for this entire REDX lab, Innovi, our ISC team, and everyone who's playing major role. But I must share the background with the students because WE4tech is definitely we kept in mind as a kind of new beginning or rejuvenating this thought process. But we almost close to 3 years back, we started that yes, tech is going to disrupt the marketplace, definitely. And keeping in mind that tech as a disruption, we started with thought process of Immertech. And in that phase of 2019, 2020 beginning, in that period, we invested close to almost 7.2 crores, okay, in terms of tech point of view in the campus itself. And that's why you'll find whatever we try to do from campus, it's absolutely high end. Now, while saying so, we were very clear as a team we school, as Kasu brightly mentioned, that the tech is non-negotiable. By embracing technological competence cannot be avoided, cannot be eliminated at all. So each and every person have to board the bus, be it faculty, be it staff, be it students, I'm sure. And students definitely, because if the students are looking forward to their future, probably you'll find, in fact, this year's all companies, you name Deloitte India, Deloitte US, you name Infosys, Capgemini, Cognizant, Wipro, Amazon, Deutsche, L&T, Axis, you name the company, and every company has asked for the job profile, which is connected to the tech as well. So the tech is non-negotiable, just keep in mind. And I'm glad, and I must congratulate all the students and the program heads and deans as well. At least I've been told that there are about 103 odd teams which are there. So that's good. So congratulations. At least my gut feel 80% of the students have actually embraced thought process in a right perspective, and rest will come because it is going to be compelling. Maybe for the next year's placement as well, it's going to be the case that maybe companies will ask that how many students are with what level of technological competence. And I'm sure in that race, if you're not there, that obviously company may not even shortlist you for the interviews. That will also happen, absolutely. And beyond that, see our philosophy, I'm sure at least 2022 batch, most of the students we have taught, and some students we are going through it right now, okay? And we spoke always about in terms of AAA, right? Acquisition, application, and assimilation. That acquisition of knowledge when we're talking about is not mere bookish, not mere within the four walls of the classroom, but we were talking about something which is far more relevant and contemporary. And in that, first and foremost, we always believe in design thinking, where design thinking is the aspect. And fortunately, Kaustubh was a part of the team which began this entire journey in 2006. And that's why, but initially we started with the BD as a kind of program, but yes, design thinking is required across the board everywhere. And second aspect, which is I mentioned about the tech point of view, okay, where technological competence, which is absolutely goes without saying. Now, these are definitely very much supported by number of other initiatives taken by our IIC team. Also did mention about Dr. Vaishali, Dr. Garima, Sagar, Ameya, Shruti. So that IIC, Institute Innovation Council, we are always ahead on the curve with respect to many other business schools in the country. Maybe we are kind of one of the business school which is always been through kind of Smart India Hackathon. And we were privileged to be involved by Education Ministry, earlier MHRD. The reason being, our students have shown that yes, they have that technological competence. That is one. Our faculties have shown that they have a technological competence and they can do tech mentoring point of view or digital transformation point of view. That's why Education Ministry always conferred upon us the highest kind of ratings, be it IIC, be it ARIA, and maybe be it 4-star, 5-star kind of rating which is required. So you will really find your skill set in terms of tech competence point of view is very much essential when we shortlist a team for Smart India Hackathon or multiple other hackathons. Maybe last year we did with Skill Hackathon of the Skill Minister of Maharashtra. Prior to that, we did with Israel Partners on Healthcare Hackathon. And maybe Singapore Hackathon also, we are party to Government of India's, we were the regional, actually, we are hosting that. So you'll really find your skill set is going to be extremely important. And even for GCL. Now already Kaustubh, along with his team, along with the Dean's program head, program in charge, along with REDX, along with the IIC team, have worked out number of problem statements. Now these problem statements would be very handy. I'm sure those come from the corporate side and even societal side as well. I'm going to request my team, faculty team as well, along with Kaustubh, that how we can leverage some of these problem statements from GCL point of view, where GCL is a core for the placement, GCL is a core for learning curve point of view for the students. And that's why these problem statements we should try to leverage as much as possible. And your level of awareness in this 6 days workshop come hackathon, I'm sure you will learn through tutorials, you will learn through a lot of applications. And as much as possible, you should focus on I was mentioning to Kausub that even maybe next time, if you're doing any hackathon, we should do that stretch 36 to 48 hours so that there's a clear focus. And I'm sure ADC will definitely support for that. There's no question about it. So GCL point of view, whatever you learn in this 6 days would be very handy, and which is going to be extremely important. I'm sure edX Lab team will play important role. They have definitely requisite skill set. And this is a wonderful opportunity for edX team to be kind of cynosure or center of the entire thought processes. Begin with this workshop come hackathon and followed by the, in fact, GCL. Now, today afternoon, as I mentioned in the morning to Professor Swapna and Professor Kausub as well, DDO team should line up a meeting at about maybe 3:15 in the boardroom, fifth floor boardroom, if required, and with ISC team and a DPHI team, and maybe whoever else is required, I think we should get them there. And I also wish to kind of sound them in terms of, or understand from them that how we can really leverage on this entire hackathon for the GCL point of view. Because GCL also has to be with technology as a game changer. Technology has to be leveraged. And I must compliment out of, I'm sure many of you students must have looked into the Gartner's height curve and the most used technologies which people are talking about, it be 3D printing and prototyping. And many companies, the projections in next 5 years, many companies spoke about, all these companies will move from normal factories to digital factories, and they will use 3D printing as an approach by virtue of one is the cost saving. Second, the cycle time can be crashed substantially fast. Okay. And a lot of other possibilities also evolves. So you'll really find typically going through grinding, milling, all CNC machines, which you have seen and I have seen, and many of us have seen, but that era is almost over. So you'll find how we can leverage in terms of the entire thought process of 3D printing. And we are one of the first few business schools in the country when we invested way back in 2014-15 for 3D printer, almost 36 lakh rupees in our Innovi lab, plus additional printers which we got it from MIT Media Lab, which is there in our edX lab as such. So you'll find be it AR, VR, MR, the world is talking about absolutely XR as a thought process, extended reality as a thought process very clearly. And I'm sure you all are familiar with respect to VR, AR, but people are also looking into MR also, how it can be leveraged from the virtual as well as the actual real time or real. So both how it can be merged and really trying to see the future from XR point of view. Analytics or application of Python into analytics needs no introduction. I'm sure the placement, if you see this year's, the placement was fastest for, in fact, analytics team. Because keeping in mind the world, the market, the way in which it has changed. And it is not necessarily analytics team, but analytics is also kind of core fabric across for all programs. And likewise, the data visualization track. Data visualization absolutely required. How you can probably project it in front of whoever is your customer, and how probably they can capture the essence of it. It cannot be in just typical multiple statistical kind of charts, and people are unable to comprehend. How probably people can comprehend, that's the name of the game. And all these 4 tracks are very useful. But beyond that, I have requested Kausub sir, and I'm sure my request to all DPH as well, we should go beyond these 4 tracks, even to additional platforms, additional technologies, which can be of help to us from the future point of view. And I'm sure edX would leverage this all the time. Other benefits which you will pick up by virtue of either heterogeneous team or homogeneous team, whatever, in terms of team learning point of view, a lot of the thought processes, and you developing the skill set. Those skill sets will be very handy for all of you. And let's begin this and leverage in terms of your own mastery. The entire faculty colleagues, faculty teams are there with you. And wherever we need to invest further, we'll also request management. Management being always quite progressive, quite positive. So we'll try to take it forward. With this, I'm going to take a pause here. And this is the organizational highest priority, top priority agenda for everyone. And students are far, far more smarter in terms of making it happen. And I'm looking forward to outcome as a patents. I'm looking forward to outcome as kind of IPs for all of us. And one of the scheme of Kapila, which I'm sure all of you must have heard about it, or ISC team, Garima, Vaishali must have shared with you. We should leverage in that direction, and we would be more than happy to invest, definitely. And last week we had a meeting on Friday, and our chairman, vice chairman also very specifically mentioned that we should kind of, we should create a fund wherein students probably can get that as a seed capital for your own startup venture, your own entrepreneurial venture. And we are all game for it. So let me wish you all the best endeavors in this particular attempt and be together. Kausup, over to you and the team. Thank you. You're on mute. Kausup, you're on mute.
Thank you very much, sir, for articulating your wisdom, words of wisdom, your vision, words of encouragement for the students. And I'm sure the students are charged with a very high current on a Monday morning to last through the week and create some unique concepts, unique ideas, and more importantly, proof of concepts with prototypes, taking the technologies ahead. Now, as this being a different kind of an event, so let us give it a slightly different tone by starting with a vote of thanks to all those people who contributed to this, who made this possible and brought it to this level today. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our gratitude towards Dr. Salunke for providing the spark that got this initiative going. And then I would like to specifically mention other names who contributed immensely to giving us ideas, giving us problem statements. Professor Bhagwati Prasad, Professor Nimkar, Professor Chatterjee, Professor Ravi Vedi, Professor Swapna Pradhan, Professor Chandrika, Professor Ragini Mohanty, Professor Vinil Burke, Professor Chandravadan Goritial, Professor Smita Bhatkal, Professor Shobha Rajkarne, and Professor Jalpa Thakkar for their contributions to the problem statements and various other inputs regarding the format for WE4tech. I would also like to thank the student team that helped in promoting the event across the entire student body. Utkarsh Sharma, Sneha Negi, Preet Kaur Bindra, Rumit Maru, Krishna Kalempudi, Sankalp Kumar, all from the senior BD batch for maybe having spammed all your student groups with a lot of posters, which got us this participation. 103 teams, that means we have close to 550 participants, student participants in this WE4tech initiative. Now, let us get this event going. First of all,
also allow me to take your leave because I need to catch up with other meetings. Okay. Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for
Thank you, sir.
spending time with us. Thank you very much. So all the participants, participating students and faculty colleagues who are there on this call right now, let me introduce to you all the protagonists, the stars, the backbone of the WE4tech event, the REDX and the Innovi team members. We had slotted a 5-minute talk by Dr. Vaishali Patil, but her health is not too well, so she's not able to speak right now. So I'm just going to take, there she is, Dr. Garima. Can you just wave out? Yeah, there she is. Sagar Deshmukh. There he is. Ameya Vaingankar. Are you there? He's lost somewhere. Dr. Subodh Devlekar from the REDX team.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Shruti Mangaonkar from the IIC team. Is she there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Great. We can't see you. Okay. Professor Chandrika.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm here.
Good morning. There she is. Yeah. Then we have Sushant Shetty, research engineer at REDX. Are you there, Sushant? Just say hi. You're muted. Then you will get spotlight.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Fatima Hirani
Hi everyone. Good morning.
from the RedX team. Amit Gaude from the RedX team.
Hi everyone. Good morning.
Adish
Hey.
Deshpande from the RedX team. Hi, there he is. Have I missed anybody?
Chandrika ma'am.
Great. Okay. Now let me give you the deeper introductions of the RedX team. Let me start with Amit Gaude. Amit, can IT team spotlight him? Amit? Yes, there he is. Amit is the in-house expert in Python programming with hands-on expertise in machine learning and deep learning algorithms, a certified chatbot developer, runner-up at the healthcare hackathon organized by MIT. Yes, MIT of Boston, not MIT of Pune. Amit is an MTech in computer science. He teaches R programming to the RBA batch here on the campus. Currently, he's working on interesting projects like Parkinson's disease prediction using deep learning, rainfall prediction using machine learning, a mental health chatbot, and many more interesting ones. Amit loves to travel and, of course, explore emerging technologies. You can catch him coding away in the RedX lab on the 6th floor anytime between 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's what he spends that much time there. Can we have Fatima on the spotlight, please? Fatima Hirani. There she is. Fatima is the in-house UI UX expert who takes care of the entire branding, outreach, and promotion of the RedX lab. Anything to do with graphic design, Fatima is the one to go to. She's the one who created those beautiful posters which circulated all over your groups. She's worked on the user interface of an app for Hindustan Unilever in one of the hackathons, which was accepted by HUL. She's been a member of the winning team, again, in an MIT hackathon. Yes, the original MIT. She's an English major, and she's so fascinated by WE School and what it offers that she completed her postgraduate diploma in marketing management while working at the RedX lab. She calls herself a bookworm, is a nerd, a language geek, a foodie, loves to try out a new cuisine every week. So when you don't know what to order on Zomato or Swiggy the next time, you know who to reach out to. Thanks, Fatima. Sushant, can IT, Santosh, can you highlight Sushant, spotlight Sushant? There he is. Sushant is a multi-tech expert, having worked on projects as diverse as figuring out how meteorological parameters affect the spread of COVID-19 in Mumbai. Another project he's worked on in identifying anomalies in soil radon gas concentration to develop an early warning earthquake warning system. Third project is designing hydroponics-based vertical farming units, designing an atmospheric water generator. Now, from the diversity of these projects, you get the drift, right? He is like the all-rounder that the Indian cricket team badly needs. Sushant is a BE in electronics and telecom, loves to play chess, 4X strategy games, trekking, and aquascaping. Aquascaping is building water gardens, is what I understand. When you get to know Sushant better, he'll explain to you better. Thanks, Sushant. Adish Deshpande holds a bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering. Adish, you spotlighted? Yes, there he is.
Hey.
Adish has worked on various projects, creating a Python Flask application to explore vocal elements and practice speech delivery, deepfake detection using various machine learning methods, developing a mental health tracking and awareness app to check the likelihood of having mental disorders. Adish loves to sketch, travel, and of course, enjoys playing video games. Professor Chandrika, can someone exploit her? Spotlight.
Yeah.
Professor Chandrika is the assistant professor in the analytics, research business analytics department. She's done her data science program from the Indian Institute of Statistical Sciences. She's done a program in analytics from IIM Bangalore, has 3 years of work experience, and everything to do with data science, she's the person to go to. Thanks, Professor Chandrika. Dr. Vaishali Patil doesn't really need any introduction. She is also from is from the research team at Wellinger, convener of the IIC, Institutional Innovation Council, a veteran of having organized multiple hackathons over the last 5 years, 6 years almost that she's here at Wellinger Institute. And you will see her everywhere running around and organizing things, hugely networked in the academic and the governmental space. Next time you want to get something done, there you have to reach out to her. Dr. Garima Sharma. You're muted. Yeah. She's also a core member of the IIC team. She's taken up the responsibility of setting up the IPR kind of facilitation team, the Kapila team that Dr. Salunke was talking about some time back. And she's been with WE School for the last 5 years, an integral part of the IIC team, looks after a lot of everything that goes on at the back end. You will not see her too much at the front side, but she is the kind of the person who gets things done silently, quietly, everywhere. Thank you, Dr. Garima.
Thank you, sir.
Now let me come to the Innovi team. Sagar Deshmukh. Santosh, can you highlight Sagar? Yes, Sagar. Thank you. Assistant Professor, General Management and Manager of Innovi. He handles the Startup Accelerator Program, all the IIC activities, various government-sponsored hackathons. Sagar is the go-to person for anything and everything related to innovation, design, and startups on the campus. He's represented India at the World Design Summit 2017 in Canada, holds a research scholarship from Carleton University, Canada. He was the winner of the India-Sweden Innovation Accelerator Program. And his hobbies, politics and social work are his hobbies. So you know who to get in touch with the next time you get in trouble, right, Sagar?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sagar. Ameya, can you get spotlighted?
Yes,
IT, can you spotlight Ameya? Yeah, there he is, Ameya. Ameya is the Assistant Manager Innovation at WE School. Holds a master's degree in sports management from University of Chicago. Ameya is a 5th degree black belt in karate and has won and keeps winning at least 3 to 4 international competitions every year. Till date, he has 109 medals of varied colors in international karate championships. So you know now who not to mess with once you are on the campus, correct? Ameya? Yes. So that's our team. And last but not the least, the daddy of them all, Dr. Subodh Devlekar. Santosh, can you highlight, spotlight Subodh, please? I called him daddy of them all because he's the lead research engineer at REDX Lab and an assistant professor in the RBA program, with expertise in the fields of machine learning, deep learning, signal processing, and healthcare. I call him Sabka Baap. So that's what Subodh is. The other side of Subodh, which I don't know whether most people know, he's an acclaimed tabla player, Sangeet Visharad. He has performed at the iconic NCPA, yes, NCPA, the one at Nariman Point, National Center for Performing Arts, as a part of the famous Murshidabadi project. And he is one of those rare folks who have combined academic interests with their passion. His PhD topic was composition of rhythmic music, a machine intelligence approach. Basically, in common man's language, creating music using machine learning. Right, Subodh? So that's Subodh for you. With these introductions of all these stalwarts here, they will be all mentoring you in your journey through WE4tech. Make the maximum use of their expertise over the entire week and come up with interesting solutions. All these people are available to you if you have any queries. Subodh and team will talk about the various, how they're going to take your tutorials, what are the tracks, how they're going to lead the tracks in some time. Before I hand over the stage to these awesome mentors, I wanted to leave the students with a few tips on how to approach problem solving. Though we are talking technology here, never lose touch with the human being for whom you're trying to solve the problem, right? I'm going to share with you maybe another 7 to 8 minutes of a little bit of my thoughts, and with some kind of an example of some earlier events like these. Can you see my screen? Let me share my screen just a minute. Yes, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
To everyone? All right. Okay. So this is the poster that must have come to you, all the students. Now, what should your approach be when you tackle these problems? This doesn't come from me. This comes from the great man Einstein. He said once, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I would spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about the solutions. Now, this is pretty counterintuitive to what we normally do. When we are given a problem, we immediately want to jump to a solution. We don't want to look at it from multiple perspectives. And this grand old man is actually telling us to look at the problem first from all perspectives, and then the solution will automatically, gradually emerge. Use this approach. Do not jump to your solutions right immediately after you've been given the problem statements. All right. Let me share with you a live kind of a case or an outcome of some previous events. There was a group of students who were given a problem statement about from the HR human resource department of a company, saying that a lot of our employees display signs of stress while they're working or otherwise also. And we want to kind of figure out a system which can give us early warnings of employee stress. And these students started working on it. And within the next 2 days, they had come up with this kind of a solution based on their secondary research. They had created a kind of a jacket with certain sensors embedded in the jacket at certain locations where they could sense the pulse rate, the blood pressure, the skin resistance, etc. And they had created certain wearable devices to check the stress levels of people. Now, this is what they had created from the secondary analysis or the secondary research that they had done. They had read on the net and they had, researched some articles here and there. So purely on the basis of secondary research, they had created this. And when we pushed them to actually meet people, meet employees, and get their viewpoint of what stresses they face, how do they respond to stress, etc. And when these deep interactions happened over the next couple of days or so, these students got very keen insights on how people respond or how people behave when they're really stressed, how employees behave when they're really stressed. They noticed during their interactions and their observations that when they use a mouse on their laptops or desktops, the striking pressure of at various locations of the mouse changes when people are under stress. the way they strike the keyboard of their desktop or laptop changes, the pressure changes, and certain points are a quick giveaway of the the stress induced responses that people have. And with these kinds of insights, in addition to what they had done earlier, they introduced added certain sensors at these vantage locations on the mouse and on the keypads to actually check when there are signals of stress, when the employee is undergoing stress. And then they created an application, which you see on the right side. This is a rough prototype that they had created, which through an Android application, they could pick up what levels of stress they have and what kinds of stress they are facing. And then they had, through this application was available to the HR managers of that HR department, the vice president of the HR department at various levels, depending on the kind of inputs that they would want to have, the kind of levels of understanding that they would like to have about the employee stress, the kind of reports that would get generated relevant to the reporting level that the HR department was accessing these applications, these stress signals, and then appropriate action could be taken. Now, why I'm telling you, narrating this instance, is because this is what they created based on their secondary analysis and web searches. But this is what they created based on their actual interactions with the end users. And this is what gave them the cutting edge. So once again, reiterates the great man's quote that spending 55 minutes on the problem, talking to people, interacting with people, and then the problem the solution kind of emerges in the next 5 minutes. So use this approach to your problem solving when you are given the problem statements during this workshop come hackathon. Now with this, I will stop here and ask Subodh to take over. Subodh and the team to take over with talking about the problem statement, the mentors coming in and telling you everything, etc., etc. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kaustubh, for that a great introduction for everybody. I mean, I didn't expect that articulation for me, daddy of all, for amazing. So for everybody who is present there, it's not just REDX or IIC who is individually working. It's as a part of a team. When we had a thought process about how to go ahead with the technological perspective, as Professor Sarunke's vision of having that vertical across all the programs, how to actually get it on board and then implement that for all the students' benefit. And then Dr. Kaustubh, with his great compilation idea, thought process, he sat with us, jotted down all these different problems that we can find out. So the driving force that we have, it's Dr. Kaustubh here. Okay, thank you so much, sir, once again for this initiative.
Santosh, I think the spotlight can remain only on Subodh. Take me off the spotlight. Yeah, thanks.
So for all the students, what we definitely, you must have gone through the website, and let me share my screen to just give you again an overview of what we have as a tracks. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible now.
Okay, perfect. So as you guys have actually registered for the different tracks, so for every track we have identified some problem statement based on the problems that the industries are facing, or maybe the most pressing one. So if you check for the track one, say a 3D modeling and a printing, so we have Mr. Sushant Shetty, who is going to conduct this particular track. And then I'll give a mic to him to explain about what he is going to cover. But let me just brief you. When actually go to this particular page, the track will have some basic objective which is written out here. Also, there are some prerequisites which for 3D modeling and printing the students should be ready with. So there's a document. You can definitely visit this particular document and then be ready with all the software requirements. Also, we have actually released the problem statements for this particular track. So when you go to this particular problem statement, every problem statement has a unique number. So you have to go through, identify what are the interesting problem statements that you would like to work on, and then start working on it. Towards the end, we can have another kind of submission round where you need to register for what problem statement that you have chosen, and then respective guidelines will be updated. So if you have chosen a track A, then this page will be getting updated for the respective team meetings, respective submission guidelines for your track. So let me take this opportunity to call Mr. Sushant, and then he can just briefly talk about what this particular track is going to be. So let me stop sharing my screen.
Hey, thank you, Subodh. So for all the students who've taken part in track A, I guess everyone here knows or has at least seen what a 3D printer looks like and has seen 3D printing in process. But when it comes to the technical details of a 3D printer, or like how do you give files for it to print, most of us might not be aware of it. So for the first part of this session, we'll be going through the technicalities of a 3D printer. We'll look at what are the different kinds of 3D printing techniques, where all 3D printing is now being used, all that. And then for the next, we'll be dividing the session into two halves. The first one is for the technicality. The second is where we go for the actual 3D modeling. So for that, we're going to use Fusion 360, the software. And in the prerequisites document, I've mentioned how you can download, because it's a paid software, but we can get an education license. So the steps are mentioned there. So if time permits, we'll be actually modeling three different things. The first one is a Lego brick. We'll be doing a custom rubber stamp. And the third one is going to be a simple water bottle. So I want this to be like like I do it here and then you can try it. So maybe we'll have like, I explain the whole process, then you can maybe try it out for like 10 to 15 minutes. And then we'll move on to the next one, like the next model. And what we expect from you from this track is not just modeling, the solution or like a product. We want you to go through the entire process. Like if you have, let's suppose if you've gone through the problem statements, you'll see that some of them might require an app as well. So we want you to come up with app designs as well. Like you don't need to design, but you can maybe just have it on paper. Like what would your front screen look like? How many layers would there be to the app and all that stuff. And if you've got drawings for the prototype, even that is good, because it might be difficult for you to, model the whole thing in these 3 to 4 days. But if you've got drawings for your prototype, that would be good as well. And about where we're going to have our meetings, all of this is going to be on MS Teams. I think I've added a few people to the tracks. I think till yesterday night, I think around 12 a.m. How many ever email IDs I've got, I've put them in the MS Teams. For those who've done it now, I'll add them. And for those who haven't, please do it, because by 6:30, we'll be starting with our sessions. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sushant. So let's move to the next track, track B. Again, the title says, and looking at the participation interest, we definitely find that this is the popular track amongst the four. And again, the same structure follows here also. A brief about the track, what is expected, what we're going to cover, some prerequisites, and the problem statements for this track. I would like to call Mr. Amit Kavde, the track owner of this particular track, to
Thank you, Dr. Subodh. Yeah. So as we all know, data is very important asset for every organization. So there are various tools in the market to analyze this particular data. But Python is the best choice of every organization to build the data analytic tools. Python can easily provide, knowledge, get examples and correlated data from big data sets. Python is additionally significant in self-service analytics. So for this particular event, like we have provided different problem statement with openly available data set. And we are expecting from the teams like the business understanding, data understanding, like univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, exploratory data analysis, data preparation, data modeling, and data evaluation and model evaluation. So during this process, you will understand how important the data is and how to utilize it to take the important business decisions. So you will understand how to construct the whole data analytics pipeline. For these particular competitions, we have the data set related to different verticals like retail, healthcare, education, or even marketing and finance also. So the main objective of this particular track is to formulate the problem statement first. You have to understand or you have to figure out like what exactly the problem you are going to solve, and then identify the data set, correct the data, analyze the data, come up with the proper visualization, and if possible the model also. Based on that, the evaluation will happen. You have to use the Python editor like Google Colab. I will introduce that in the session itself, how to use that, how to upload the data set, and how to execute and everything. Even I'll tell you how to submit that file with us also in the session itself. Yeah, thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Amit. I mean, that's a very packed content, I would say, and then students will be very happy to learn a lot of things from you, Amit. Definitely, that's great. So let's move to the next track. We have track C, data visualization. Again, the another popular track amongst the four, and then we are fortunate to have Professor Chandrika, who is again expert with the data visualization techniques. The prerequisites and the problem statements are released for this. So I would like to call Professor Chandrika to just brief everyone about what she is gonna cover with this particular track.
Thank you, Dr. Subodh. Okay, welcome all. In fact, very warm welcome to all the students who have shown so much of interest towards the WE4tech Hackathon for the first time, which we are organizing with. And coming to this particular track of data visualization, I say that this is one of the most attractive track to every student because you don't require a single line of code here. Okay, and you are probably might be by looking at the blue color visualizations in Excel, or might be at the max of orange color visualizations in Excel. Here you can come out with some sort of vibrant colors where you can communicate your business problem statements in a very clear format. See, it's all like, as we coming from a management background, it's not that you will be talking about only the statistical terminology or the jargons which we will be putting it across, which I 100% sure that most of the business, peer groups might not be understanding the technical terms or might not be interested to know the technical terms, right? So it's always like, I just wanted to see whether, whether we had a problem statement, which we, in fact, in WE4tech, we have implemented with Procter & Gamble about the attrition analysis. So the HR manager was like, ma'am, we don't want all this statistical jargons. Just tell me whether an employee X will attrite or not. If he's attriting, just populate in a red color, or if it's not attriting, populate in a green color. That is enough for me, right? So that's what we are going to do in the data visualization part here. And this particular track will be divided into 3 parts. Okay, first is to enable you with respect to the software technology which we are using. We are going to use Tableau as one of the platform over here, where we get the education license for about 1 year. Okay, I hope the document has been uploaded on that particular portal to download the Tableau part. Okay, so the very first part, we will do the basic visualizations. And the second part, we are going to create a very interactive dashboards. Okay. And the third part, which is very popular, everyone will say, even you, about your resume, right? You need to create a storyline. You need to create a storyline, right? So that's what we are going to do in this particular track. Of course, we can also come out with beautiful animations using Tableau. Okay, I'll also show you some of the tips for getting the animations on Tableau part. And this particular session will start with a case study analysis where it will give you a guidance on how to approach a problem statement, how to understand a problem statement, right? So from there we start with, we create interactive dashboard, we create some sort of storylines, and then I'll be helping out with your own problem statements. Of course, we do have very good real-time problem statements which are being uploaded with respect to COVID and all the other stuff, which you'll be looking into once you open your problem statements over there. I would request you to take the problem statement of your own interest. Okay, I'll be there here and I'll be guiding you on how to come out with this particular dashboards. Fine. So see you at 6:30. Thank you. Thank you, Subodh sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. So let's move to the final track, track D, augmented reality and virtual reality. So, hey, we also don't have a programming to do it, like just gonna do some settings, and then we are gonna create an AR and the VR applications. So again, why this particular track is important for for different organizations or the businesses. The current example is the pandemic, right? And everybody has faced the situation where we are not allowed to move out of our houses, or we are working from home. But how we actually sell our products, or how we actually make the customer understand what product that we are giving it to them, right? So AR and VR are the technologies will definitely help you to market your products, to do the metaverse thing, right? And then people are talking about in future the social media will be in the metaverse. So this is again a great opportunity to get into the world of AR VR. And in the welcome talk of Professor Salunke, he has mentioned about the mixed reality, and that's the future which are coming. And as a management student, you should be aware about what are the different technologies which are there in that space, how to do it. Why? Because most of the time we get scared about the programming, and then we find, oh, there's something scary on the other side of a table. But unless and until we actually get into it, we'll be definitely able to crack that particular problem. So that's one interesting track that we have. So let me share a brief schedule of what we are going to do for the rest of the week. So starting from today, for all the tracks A, B, and C, D, we are having a parallel session with the respective teams meeting. So you must have already got the invitation, at least the team leaders, about the different tracks that they have registered, and they have been added to the respective tracks. The team leaders, we are adding the participants also. We are still receiving the responses from everybody, so we are still in the process of adding the participants in that particular channel. So at 6:30 sharp, we are starting with all the tracks, and then those particular links will be provided to you. And of course, those particular links will be updated onto the respective tracks in the website also. So today the tutorial session will have, as every track owner explained it, what they're trying to cover it. Try to take the most of those particular content. Based on that, those contents will actually help you to solve your business problems, that the choice that you are making it. So for the rest of the week, starting from today, you will be working on those particular problem statements. So we identify, okay, yeah, that's fine, we choose a problem statement, we know how to do it, but what will happen if we stuck up in between, right? So for that, we have we have arranged some mentoring and doubt solving sessions on 19th and 20th, right? The timings are different. We'll definitely update you about the timing. So timings here for the 19th is starting from the 5 p.m. because of your lectures, and then it will go to 6:30 p.m. The respective links will be updated to you for the different tracks. So if you are into track A, and then if you have some doubts, you started with a particular problem statement, so you can join this particular link and then get it resolved by the particular the track owner. Similarly, we have kept additional day on 20th. Also, we can have the doubt solving session, but the timings are from the 6:30 to 8 due to your lectures. So when you are going through the particular problem statement, you stuck up any in between, and then you resolve that particular thing. Once you're done with that resolution of your whatever the problems that you're working on, we'll have the final submission on 23rd. We'll be providing you with the submission link. For every track, there is a different submission link. The respective track owner will give you the details as and when it is required, and then you have to submit your solution. We are definitely expecting a presentation also, and then the details are mentioned in a respective the tracks that you can go through it. The other thing what we came across when we were brainstorming about this event is I have chosen track A, but I would also like to learn about track B because that's also interesting and important. So for that, keeping that particular thing in mind, what we are going to do is we are going to upload all the session videos, all the track videos on YouTube. So later on, maybe a tomorrow or day after, or maybe later on, you wish to go through those particular videos for the learning purpose, you can definitely go to the YouTube channel of the REDx and IIC, and then you can watch those particular things. So we are not restricting the knowledge set that we are creating for our students. You can definitely go and then watch them. Also, all the doubt solving, if you have any questions, there is going to be a Microsoft Teams platform we're going to use for every tracks that we have. And there's going to be a channel for every team. In that channel, if you want to discuss with your team members, you want to share some notes or some sketches for the 3D modeling and everything, you are supposed to do in those particular channels. So since you have already registered in that channel, we'll be a part of it, and then we'll be able to help you if you stuck up anywhere. So there's going to be a query channel along with the common channels that we have. If you have any queries, you can post it there, and the track owners will revert you with the answers that you have. Talking about the prizes, I mean, that's what interesting thing for the hackathon. So we have great prizes for the individual tracks, and if you go to the website, you will see the details, the Amazon vouchers and the courses, and e-certificates for everyone who has participated for this particular thing. So as of now, that's it from my side. I would like to have Dr. Kaustubh on board to conclude this session. Yeah, can we have Dr. Kaustubh?
Yeah. Thanks, Subodh and team. Now, students, I'm sure you have a lot of questions. So maybe you can type them in the chat window. We'll try to resolve them. As is our forte, we have finished early from what we had promised you. So I think we also need an applause from your side. So anyway, virtually I can hear your applause. Thank you very much. Till the time that you think up of questions, let me bore you a little bit with carrying on with the example which I spoke about, and some points that I would like you to keep in mind. Remember this, I was talking about what are you learning. I deliberately didn't mention much about it at that time because I knew you were eager to know about the tracks and get introduced to the various tracks. Points to remember, let me summarize. Everybody remembers this example, student generated solution using basic technologies, but a pretty unique solution and a very useful one for industry. All right. Just a few things that I would like you to keep in mind are point number one, which I mentioned, do not rely only on secondary research, interact with end users. That is the meaning of deep empathy. Second, factor in the extremes. Many a time when we create solutions, we look at only the, in a frequency distribution of users, we look at mean plus minus 2 sigma. That is the representative sample. We tend to ignore the outliers. But the outliers or the extreme users are the ones who give real insights into creating some great products and services. Coming back to this application, this insight actually came from an employee who had an argument with her boss, and then she had come back to her workstation and was working. That's the time when the students who were on that problem statement actually noticed that the pressure at various points is different. And that's when that triggered off further analysis, that triggered off their further interactions, further observations, etc. So moral of the story, do not ignore the extremes, always account for the extreme scenarios, analyze critically, make the best of the available resources. You're going to be expected to generate a solution in the next 4 days, so you don't have too much time. So look at some key pointers, and you have limited time to interact with users. That's where if you kind of visualize extreme scenarios, or if you kind of put your users in extreme situations while solving those problems, you will get to know what are the outcomes that they desire. That's what I mean by make the best of the available resources. And yes, your first idea may not be the best one. Remember that. Don't get stuck with your first idea. Keep on prototyping, testing. So do that accelerated prototyping testing as far as possible. All right. And of course, my favorite quote here, my favorite line: do not lose sight of the user for whom you're solving the problem. It might sound counterintuitive, but do not get overawed and overwhelmed by technology that you will lose sight of the user, because you're trying to solve a problem for the user and you're using the technology as an enabler. All right. So all the best for the next 5 days of problem solving. And let us, if there are any Q&As, the team is here to respond to your questions. Any queries regarding anything, we can. Otherwise, we can. Subodh has already announced what happens next. So, yeah, are there any queries, question and answers in the Q&A box? Okay.
Okay, so Spurge says he's excited. That's great. Okay, so we got a few queries in the Q&A about the channels, and if they haven't received the invite. So we're in the process. As I said, we are getting overwhelming responses from most of the participants. So we are still trying to add them. So if you're not getting it, it will take some time, an hour or so, to get registered in those particular tracks. So definitely we'll add you in those particular tracks.
So I think by 1:30, everybody should get those links.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and also one.
Subodh just mention about to fill up the participant registration Google form.
Yes.
We can add them and get the proper email ID for them.
Yes, yes. So there is a form for the participation registration. This is for everybody. So that you have to fill it up. And once we have, so mention your Wellinker email address, not your Gmail address or any other platform address, because we are adding everybody on the MS Teams, which is a part of the institute environment. So we need your wellinker.org email address. So make sure that you register for that. Also, request for the team leaders to join the WhatsApp group. So whatever the notifications that we are providing, it will be handy for you to pass it on to your respective team members. So there's one question from anonymous attendee. Does app development come under AR/VR? Yes. So we are going to create an application, an Android application to whatever the AR products that we are displaying, and then we can definitely deploy it. So yes, the app development comes under AR/VR. So there's a question from Ankita. When will the session be conducted tomorrow? So for the tomorrow's doubt solving session, we have put the evening slot from 5 to 6:30 p.m. All the the tutorials are going to be conducted today evening 6:30. So please keep that thing in mind. So all the tutorials will be conducted today itself for all the tracks. So Vidhi is saying you have lecture till 7 for today or tomorrow. Maybe any one of your team member can join and then ask queries if there are.
And it will be there on YouTube, right? The recording will be, you can join at 7 o'clock, Vidhi, and the recordings are accessible at any point in time. So don't worry, you won't miss it.
So WE4tech team is asking what will be the winning amount. Oh, that's, we are keeping it very secret. We're not disclose the amount. Yes, let me put the website link into the chat again for everyone. So it's accessible to everyone. So I pasted into the chat, you can access it. Also for all the tracks, the problem statements we are going to provide, and the data sets also for those particular problem statements are given. So you just have to go to the web link, and then you can find the document where the tracks are been released with the data sets. There might be possible that there are few problem statements. There's no need to have a data set, or student have to search for their own data sets. That's also perfectly fine. And if you have a query during today's 6:30 session, you can ask the track owners about those particular queries. No. So this is just now I've answered, Ayush. Problem statements are given by us. You don't have to choose your own problem statements. The problem statements are given by us only.
All right.
Yeah, I think if there are no more.
Yeah, I think everybody now wants to get on with it. So, and let's keep up with the fact that, keep up with our habit that we start on time and end early. All right.
Yes.
So,
Before closing
yeah.
up the session, I will request everyone to switch on the camera so that we can take one screenshot. The panelist.
There's one question, Vaibhav Nautiyal. You want to take it, Subodh?
Yes. So Vaibhav, yeah. So the prerequisites for the AR/VR track has been mentioned in the document. So the software is the Unity and the WE4tech package you need to install. The links have been already given in that document. So you have to download that. And the assets and everything, when I take the session, I'll talk about it.
Done, sir.
Okay, great.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, Sagar, you want to add something?
No, just all the queries are solved, so we can just solve the queries and request everyone to be active on the MS Team so that on general tab we will be posting the queries or what are the punishments or what are the new information we are going to upload. We are going to put it on MS Team chat box and also the WhatsApp group. So please be active over there. Thank you, sir.
Great. All right. Okay, so everybody excited? Thank you very much. And we are looking forward to some great outcomes from all you students. So see you all in the respective track tutorials in the evening. Bye-bye from all of us here, Innovi team, RedX team, IIC team. Bye.
Bye.
And there is one.
Yeah, so there is one question. Yeah. So there are definitely will be a 10 to 15 problem statement. You have to choose any one from them and then start working on it. I hope that is clear.
And there is one technical query in the chat box, which I think we can handle, right? In the chat box, you can see that.
Yes.
I will
Yes.
call Ruchika and we will get it sorted, sir. No worries.
Perfect.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
It can be done.
Thank you.
That will be taken care of, Shravika.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
worry about it.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All the best, everybody.